Hit me one time. Flip it. Yeah, it's the Capital City Podcast. I'm your host, Capital J, alongside my main man,
DL Glass.
And tonight we got a very, 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 very special guest.
Yes,
All
sir.
our guests are special, but this guy is super duper special. He's a local legend. He's a radio industry veteran. I'm going to call you a radio veteran legend.
Oh, wow. Dope.
Yeah, it's hard to do what this man has done
Right.
in radio, and he is the pride of the triad. Triangle. I came from the triangle. The pride of the triangle.
Yeah.
Right.
We got the one and only Brian Dawson. You have any
Yeah.
applause in there? You got some manufactured applause? We have by
That
ourselves,
sounds
you know what I'm
bad.
saying?
That sounds bad.
Hit me one time. Yeah, there it is.
Do something for the OG, man. Thank you, brother.
sir.
Appreciate
Right on,
that.
right on. Now, before we get into it, I want to start off by saying this. I'm gonna give my introduction of you based on my perception,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna let you take control of the reins.
Okay.
Brian Dawson. Years ago, when I was on the radio, I started the radio in 1996 at 102 Jam,
Before me.
Oh, wow.
and during my tenure, you did show up on the radio while I was there from 96 to 2007.
I came in 99.
So during that time period, Brian Dawson shows up on the air. Many people came and went from 102 Jams. I watched people rise and go other places and do things. Brian Dawson remained steadfast in 97.5. I went through the morning show. Brian Dawson was on 97.5. I'm off. Spent 8 years off. Moved to Durham. Brian Dawson is on 97.5. My kids are playing basketball. I take them to training. His son's training, my son's training, and Brian Dawson's on 97.5.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
25 years, man.
Right. I end up doing a 2-year bid here on radio on 95.3, and Brian Dawson was on 97.5.
Right.
I cannot think of a time
Ever.
in my radio history
Yeah.
when I wasn't sharing airspace with Brian Dawson.
Mm-hmm.
So with all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, Brian Dawson.
No, and I received that, and I want to say thank you. First of all, for letting me just be on the show. Very professional show. Of course, you shoot it in a great restaurant, black-owned and operated, and that means y'all giving back to the community. So it's just I'm just happy to be here, man. I'm going to give y'all a couple exclusives today.
Oh,
I don't do a lot of podcasts for a few reasons, but I saw y'all. I've been researching. Obviously, I've been knowing you for a while. So I'm just excited to be here, man, and we got a lot to talk about. So thank you guys for having me.
Okay, well, let's jump right in from the musical side, because I'm going to talk to you about basketball too.
Yes,
Because-
nothing's off limits. Let's get it.
Right, but musically.
Okay.
Now, you are from Durham.
Well, I'm actually born in Virginia,
All
but
right,
I might
yeah,
as
let's
well
get
be
that.
from Durham because I went to high school here.
Went to
And
high
I'm from
school here.
Virginia, and my dad, who was really popular back in the day, his name was Mercy D.
Okay.
So he had a karate shop and a hair salon, and he did a modeling agency, and a lot of things of that era that he could do then. So a lot of the things I ended up growing up to do, I watched him do. But he brought me to Durham,
So he was
and
a
it changed my
business-
life.
He was a businessman.
He was an entrepreneur. He had several karate shops, hair salons in and around downtown. Very popular guy. If you ask around, you say his name, everybody knew him. And I learned a lot from him. And he moved me to Durham. And Durham was the first time when I got here, I saw black people that wasn't riding bikes, that actually had Benzes, that went to college. So it changed my life when I saw Durham.
I want to say that's been my observation for a long time. When people say, what's the difference in Durham and everywhere else? I say, well, there are a lot of places, people look at Durham as being a black city.
Right.
But the population of black people here is similar to what you find in Greensboro, Charlotte, and a lot of other cities.
Right.
Rocky Mount, Rocky Mount got even more. But Durham has this reputation because the black people here actually run things. You see them in positions of power
Right.
that you don't see in these other places. And I noticed that too. I saw not just one or two doctors or lawyers. There are communities
Yes.
of doctors and lawyers here, and it gives you a different perspective on what your future can hold.
Yeah, where I came from, it was whether you was going to college. Here, it was where you going to go to college. That was pretty much the pervasive attitude with my friends. So I was just excited to be in this atmosphere. I was just coming in my own playing basketball at the time. So it's been like like one of the greatest things ever just to grow up in Durham.
Where'd you go to high school?
Went to Durham High.
Durham
And
High.
that's stage one.
Another Durham High alumni.
Yeah.
That's stage one of being old when your high school is not normally
Right.
is renamed to something. It's Durham School of Arts now. But I went to the Durham High. It was great place to go. A lot of cool folks went there. I played basketball there. So yeah, I might as well say I'm from Durham, man. I lived up the street from here.
Right.
Like I lived in every part of Durham you can imagine. So
And you can kick ass.
huh?
You can kick ass.
I ain't gonna go that far. I played
you about to
basketball,
karate.
so people didn't bother me much. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, if your dad,
And
you
plus
know,
my-
has
oh, yeah, my
karate,
dad, yeah.
That's
you
what I
know
mean,
that.
yeah.
My dad was a 5th-degree black belt.
Well, nobody's
karate.
messing with Brian
Yeah,
Dawson.
he was a bad
man.
boy, man.
You got to pass everywhere.
Right.
So now, I also know you as a DJ.
Mm-hmm.
Where did your DJing background begin? Because you're Durham High, and man,
Right.
we had a lot of DJs come through here
Right.
from Durham High. So I know
Yeah.
you automatically in the environment.
Well, I grew up, back then I wouldn't say I was a DJ. I was in the culture. I was watching it. I grew up with some legendary DJs like DJ Nabs, DJ Shout. I mean, I can start naming so many DJs. I'm going to get in trouble, so let me stop there. But I watched it. I was around it. I chose the path of being a promoter is how that was my big foray into the game, is creating events. But music was always my passion. And I paid attention long enough. And to be honest about it, I really didn't become a DJ's DJ till COVID, sitting at home and having
Right.
nothing else to do. And I was like, oh, maybe I can start practicing, because being on the radio, as you know, people assume that you DJ.
Right.
So I would get a lot of calls to do events, and I would take real DJs with me. And I would get up there, play a record, say, hey, what's up, it's Brian Dawson, and I would let them do their thing.
Right.
So I put a lot of guys in the game that way. And, just eventually it came full circle, and I got to give a shout out to DJ Grant, who's a local DJ out of Raleigh.
yeah, I met Grant. Good people.
Yeah, they call him Tommy from Power.
So,
But-
right.
But Grant actually said to me, man, if you're gonna do it, do it. And I was like, what you mean? He was like, it's a science to this. Let me show you. And he was the first person to ever set me down with my ADHD and teach me really how to do it.
And you know what? From a fan, I saw that during COVID, and I said that to someone. They said, "No, Brian's always been a DJ." I said, "But I never saw it."
Yeah, I was just around it. I was absorbing it.
Right.
But I wasn't truly like a DJ, nah.
Wow.
But it's so weird because the game changed, right? It's a new science to DJing from the organic way that DJs learned how to do the craft. So there's a formula that you can follow to pick it up. Like I was always musically inclined. I could select songs from being on the radio. I knew what hits were because I played them. So it was just a matter of me bringing my skill level up and then combining that with my showmanship. But I took off kind of quick because it was bubbling, and it was probably the right path for me to go. Right. And I'll break some news to y'all a little bit later. But yeah, I'm really basically full-time DJ right now.
Oh wow.
And you're in a good time because it's a lot easier to get in and be up and running. You know, you don't have to go and collect records.
Yes. Now I've had records. I've had techniques. I've lost techniques. I kept my records though. I still got some records. But yeah, I went through and I watched the DJs, of course, by booking them, go through all those phases so I can appreciate the phase that is in now.
Right. Well, now let's get to the basketball before we get back into the music. Okay. So you're in high school, you're playing basketball.
Yes.
And I honestly I only knew Brian Dawson as the guy who's running the radio down here in Raleigh area. And then I get here and I'm involved in basketball. And I think there was a tournament you used to be a part of in Durham.
I created a tournament.
Right.
Called Rising Stars.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was my first introduction to Brian Dawson,
the tournament
the basketball guy. And since then, I hear your name a lot. You know about.
Well, basketball was my first passion, and it got me 6 years of free education. That's what I always say.
Hey.
Yeah, I went to college 6 years for free because I played basketball. So it did a lot. You know, I used to equate myself to Allen Iverson. The round ball got me started, and it got me into entertainment. You know, eventually. Music was always kind of my second passion. But when I got away from basketball, it was like an easy transition into music. So I learned a lot of like how to be a star player, how to be the worst player on the team, how to get scholarships, how to move to a new city, how to make new friends. Everything I learned that was through college.
Right.
And I had a great college career. I mean, I did okay on the court. I did better in the 2-year school. So I went to 2-year junior college in Florida. I went to a 4-year school at the University of Akron in Ohio.
Okay.
And I stayed there and got my master's.
Word.
So
So what was the master's in?
sports management.
Sports management.
And I took all three fields and I pushed them together. And I took that and I merged that with my personality. And that's how I created my lifestyle.
Turning it into entertainment.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah. And when you see me doing all of that together. So I was doing stuff like ahead of my time. Like when I was in grad school, I interned for the Cavs. And I was hanging around with some of the pros, and I was realizing none of them had managers. Like the agent would do the contract and leave. So I started getting them endorsement deals with sponsors and endorsement people around, boosters around my school.
Right.
So then they started being friendlier with me. I started doing research. I think at the time only Shaq and Penny Hardaway and Michael Jordan had agents, managers, technically managing their career. And so I started doing that. That's where the sports manager came in. And when I graduated and I came back here, I was going to try to do that for Christian Laettner and Bobby Hurley and them guys, but I didn't have the like confidence to really ask them. I was trying to figure out how to present a presentation to them, and I messed around and went to a hair show in D.C. with a friend of mine. And actually, I started working for this hair show. I didn't know what it was. I just took a little job. I had graduated from grad school. And so I got to tell you the story real quick. So my friend was running in and out of salons, getting back in the car with money. Every time he would get in the car, he had more money.
Right.
I'm like, what you doing? He just putting cash in the book bag. He was like, I'm going to do a hair show. I was like, word. So at the end of the day, he was like, man, you sitting around, you ain't doing nothing. If you want a job, I'll pay you 2 weeks work. So I said, cool. So I went home and I started thinking about it. And I said, you know what, man? I came back the next day when he picked me up and I said, bro, don't pay me. He was like, what you mean? I was like, what you gonna do is tell me everything you doing. I'm gonna work for 2 weeks. This is a true story. So basically, to make a long story short, for 2 weeks, I took notes. So I was a student, so I had a book bag, took notes on what he did. He may have gave me $400-500 for that. So my dad, who had big hair salons here, he was a big stylist in the city. So I already knew that I could take it and bring it to Durham. So they've never had hair shows at that point here. It was in D.C. and Atlanta.
So you started some hair
I did the
shows
original
there.
hair show in March of '95. That's how I got going. That was my first project ever. I broke the bank with that one. Yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah. That's how I got started in entertainment right there.
Nice. So I know, like right now we're on a timeline. So this is 95. You start on 97.5 in 99.
99.
So when you came out, radio's not really,
Right.
you're not really seeing.
Well, I had a 2-year degree in radio, TV. So I had the background, but I was a basketball player, so I didn't have no experience. So I started researching, and I figured that I found out Duke had a radio station called WXDU. And I'm like, okay, they got a radio station, which means a lot of their programmers go home because the students, so they probably looking for city programmers to keep it going.
Right.
So I signed up, took a test, passed the test. I started doing like overnights, crazy 1-hour shifts. And then Christmas break, I could do anything. I could come in during the day. And so I knew DVS at the time. So I went to DVS and Wink Moody, and I got them to photocopy liners.
Right.
So I said, I'm going to start producing my show on college radio like I'm on major radio.
Right.
DVS, this ties into a little bit of what DVS told us about.
Yeah.
Yes.
About Duke University Radio.
Yes.
Right.
So everybody at Duke was looking at me like I'm doing real radio. I'm doing breaks. I'm reading cards, and everybody up there just playing around, falling asleep on there. I'm like, man, I'm trying to get out of here.
You getting ready.
Right.
So I would go up to K97. I did it 3 times. I went up there, met with the guy. They saw me as a promoter at the time, so they didn't think I was serious. And I could almost hear them like take my tape. It was a cassette tape.
Yeah.
By the time I'm walking out the office, I can hear the trash bag. Like I can hear it twice.
Yeah.
Right. Hosey Mack was the program director, which I ain't mad at him because he probably wouldn't take me serious. But I kept going, and finally, the midnight guy was leaving, and the last person that gave him a tape is who they were gonna hire, and I was the last one that gave him a tape.
Oh,
and they
wow.
brought me in and threw me in there overnights. Yep.
Okay, this is something I was going to wait for, but since you're bringing up overnights, I was going to talk to you about all the things we've seen change since
Oh, my
the
God.
90s
Yeah, it's
in
so
radio.
different. Yeah.
And you just brought up overnights.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I don't think, if you're past a certain age, you've never heard of overnight job.
No more. That's right. That's right.
You see what I'm saying?
I love the overnight, especially
And
close to the weekend.
This
Thursday,
was
Friday, and Saturday.
that was an opportunity. That was an opening opportunity for every DJ, radio DJ. Your first gig is either overnights, you take the shift nobody wants, or weekends, the shift nobody wants to do. Who wants to be on the radio station on the weekend? And this is where everybody starts off. But those opportunities don't exist anymore.
Man, I was breaking the mold. Like, I had such a vision that I knew from the time I got in radio, everything I did in radio, I had already pre-planned in my head. It was almost step by step by step of how to do it. And really, I wasn't looking at nobody across the country. I had my head down, just said, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna do this. But I got on the radio to make my parties bigger and to make myself as a personality. But it was really about making my parties bigger. Mm-hmm. But it didn't take me long to come up. So I was at, I never forget. So I was doing overnights. So I do overnights. There was 12 to 6 at the time. Mm-hmm. Then Russ Partner would come on. I would go home and sleep for 4 hours while wrestling was on the radio. And then 10 o'clock, I run in the streets.
Right back.
No, I was running in the streets promoting and doing events, stand up. I did that for a long time.
Remotes.
Right.
So they had an R. Kelly concert. And back then, speaking of changes of radio, like not only did we have tickets to everything, but we should get suites. They would give us food. Like it would be like box office way they treat us as radio personalities.
Right.
And they would bring all of us on the main stage and introduce everybody. So it just so happened the way everything came, I was the last person. And when I came up and I got the biggest applause, I saw Hosey and the GM at the time, Gary Weiss, look at me. Yes, just like
Gary
you did.
Weiss. I used to work for Gary Weiss too.
That's my guy, man.
He came from Jams.
Yeah, I love Gary Weiss. He sure did.
Yeah.
And I saw it in his face that he knew, because he didn't even know who I was. Like, why everybody know him? But at the time, I had market penetration because I was a basketball player. I stayed in the papers, so I knew a lot of people. And then I started throwing events. I started with the hair show, and I was well into throwing parties 3-4 years in. So I knew a lot of people that already knew me. And Tony G was doing the afternoon show. He left to go to Columbia, and
Time to move up.
Well, another guy took it, and he was pressing them to give it to him full time, and I guess they didn't want to give it to him, so they let me sub. And why'd they do that?
Oh wow!
Once they did, it was
Numbers
over.
went up.
Yeah, it was over.
Well, see, what you have is something that's missing in a lot of radio now.
Yeah.
A voice that talks to the people. Like, what's the draw? Why do you listen? He always says, "What's the with them? What's the with them? What's in it for me? What's in it for you when you listen to radio is not hearing the music anymore. You can get the music anywhere.
Right.
You're listening to somebody who can tell you what's going on around here.
Right.
That local part.
Somebody who, when you say, I'm doing something this weekend, they can go there and see you. That's what's missing, you know?
Yeah.
And you're one of the few people who's been able to last this long. You know, they got a saying in radio, you ain't worked in radio till you been fired.
Right. Well, let me drop the first of many bombs on y'all. So I have not even really publicly put this out yet, but I have officially left the radio station.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Well, damn.
I'd like to catch you on with that surprise.
Well, damn.
Well, damn.
And I'll tell you, I haven't actually been on the radio since June of last year. And y'all didn't even know.
Still using, but that's where we are today. I'm sure your voice is still on there.
Well, I'm on some spots and commercials and things that's probably still running, and it's going to take a while because my market penetration was so deep for them to, for people to kind of realize it. But I stepped away. Full-time stepped away in January. So, yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, may I ask you what led to that decision?
Well, a couple of things. One, I had a health scare, but I was had already put in my verbal, told him I was done. Several things hit at me at once, man. I could blame it on a lot of different directions, but I was upset with the direction of radio. They wasn't moving fast enough. My DJ career was taking off. I was going to them to ask them, can they let me off to go make more money than they was paying me? And after I did that too many times, I had to cut that one out too, because a lot of corporate gigs and things that I do starts around the time I was on the radio.
Right.
And I guess lastly, man, when I was going out to do the biggest thing that I've ever done since I've been on the radio is my school tour, and we'll get into that a little bit, but I was dragging the station around everywhere that I was going. They weren't helping me with my brand at the time. What I was getting from them wasn't there no more. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It was all me doing everything for myself because I never went up there for that check. I never knew what they were paying me. I got one raise the whole time I was there, and I didn't negotiate that, and I didn't even consider that a raise because it didn't matter what they paid me.
It's kind of par for the course now. If you probably noticed this too, but this is kind of what I noticed. When they put you in certain positions, it's kind of like, here, we put you here, go get the money.
Right.
And you're on your own.
Right.
We'll give you something, but if you really want to maximize it, you're gonna have to
Right.
take
Well, and
this
I was lucky to
position
work
and
for a
maximize.
GM like Gary Weiss who let me go be me. You
Right.
know, I'm a serial entrepreneur. I make things happen. I make the city move and shake, and he endorsed it. I brought
Mm-hmm.
a lot of money. I was a platinum spender with the radio station.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So you
Oh,
so you
shit.
turn
Say
right
it.
back around,
Yeah.
put money in
They
advertising.
way more than they gave me.
Say that
Right.
again. Say it.
Right.
Right. Live broadcasts. I mean,
Right.
everything with partnerships, co-ops, NTR deals. I was doing all that.
Right.
A lot, So I'm gonna tell you the crazy story. So it was the BET Awards that made me realize what I was doing, how big of what I was doing. Because when I got out there, all the biggest radio personalities in the country, the Greg Streets, the Bays, the Quicksilvers, and all these guys were out there in the big markets. And when I laid my resume down, I mean, I was right there beside them. Like, they really weren't doing nothing in their city. I was doing TV. I was doing radio, obviously. My school tour is unmatched. I got the biggest school tour in the country. We're about to kick it off now. I'll hit 60 schools, 2 a day. And I'll tell you, I get more people now walk up to me, not tell me about some radio interview or some celebrity picture. They'll tell me, you came to my
I remember
school.
when you came to my school.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing I get since I've been on the radio.
Right.
Some people third, fourth. I walked them all the way through 12th grade.
That's another thing that's about to be lost
Mm-hmm.
in this new era of radio. You know, the thing about having a Brian Dawson in-house, like I said, we were just all on 95.3. And when we got let go, I don't know if there's a person on that station who lives in the state.
Wow.
You see
So
what I'm
do you
saying?
know how gratifying it was for me? And like you said, 25 years I saw many of them get, we used to call it the brown box. You'll see the brown box go down the hall.
Oh, you're going to put your stuff in
Put
it.
your stuff in the brown box, right? Now, I've seen it happen, man, but to walk out of there on my terms was
Yeah.
just like, man, like I was like, and it's been unheard of. Nobody just walked, like, I'm like, man, I'm done. That's it. I save my money. I don't need this. I'm very well off. And I want to go. My son is about to play college ball. I'm not going to ask y'all, can I get off to go see him? It's not happening.
Go see
You
your
know what I'm saying?
son.
Right.
Damn right.
Yeah, and I got a kid playing at Jordan. I'm not going to ask y'all nothing no more. I got to have some freedom. So it was
I
time.
gotta slip this one in there. So would you invest your first million in?
Oh man, I don't know, man. I'm old school, man. I got mattress money, man. I just, but when you do what you love, man, like
Right.
I don't even, because people, like, even my DJ rate, I don't have a rate. It's relationships. If I got a relationship with you, I'm gonna come make something happen. It don't matter.
Right.
I've gotten some of my biggest events from doing favors for friends, and next thing you know, I'm here. It was never, that's how I got tied into the Democratic National Convention.
Right.
Like, basically, I went and did a favor at a church, and the lady was there who was head of the whole North Carolina, Democrats. And for a 2-year span, I was everywhere from Asheville to, when Kamala came, Obama came, Bill Clinton came, they didn't do an event without me, bro.
Hey, that's nice. I tell people all the time, I've tried it both ways. You get to a point where it's like, well, if they don't pay a certain price, I'm not going to do it. Then it's like, well, I realize sometimes you just got to go work.
Right.
Right. Forget the price.
Right.
Get out here and go do some work.
Yeah, that art is lost, man.
Yeah.
I don't focus on that, man. Exactly it's relationships to me. I got some strong relationships, so my corporate game is off the chain.
Oh, I see. So what would you tell somebody getting into radio today? It's a whole different story than when we started. How can they maximize their time? Because what you built is not something that everybody can do.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't think they gonna let people do that no more. Radio's different. You know that. You saw the golden era of
Yeah,
radio.
they're taking your power away in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Even for the DJs, like you've seen DJs in the mix show, and you know every portion of the radio game.
Yeah.
Look at where the power has been taken away from every aspect. For you to go out and maximize your position, it's getting harder and harder. So yeah, what would you tell somebody now coming in?
Yeah, you have to be versatile in this game. If you're not figuring out, because you got to be able to create your own projects. Like, I didn't sit around, when I started realizing guys were trying to pay me $200-300 to host events, I'm like, I could do my own event, and I had that attitude coming at the beginning. So, if you got to have a lot going on, within the wheelhouse of what you got going on. So I do sports business and entertainment, right? I spoke to you about the basketball camp. I still do basketball projects. I did boxing. So I'm still doing that. I do business events.
Right.
conventions. You know what I'm saying? I do a lot of expos. I mean, I put things together. I advertise and I market. I know what my strong suit is, and of course, entertainment. You know, and one thing I want to make sure. One of the other things I want to make sure on the podcast today is that we set the record straight because the new wave of folks, to me, benefit off of whitewashing the history, and they don't want it told right. And when you watch something happen, you know, like one thing that this market drives me crazy is like people don't realize what people did to get the market where it is right now and who did what. See, I remember now you gotta go back to March of '95. Won't nothing going on too much down there. You know, I'm not saying I'm the forefather of it because I learned from some people above me. They did what they could do with the tools and the platforms they had.
Right.
But I was able to transform. And it wasn't cool to go to Durham and hang out in Durham. I just had people at the Durham Marriott. You know,
Right.
I was on the team. Me and Adolph, when the CIAA wasn't big, we the one brought Magic Johnson and got him on Jet. Well, we did. They put him on Jet magazine with the CIAA, and that's how the CIAA ended up going to Charlotte. We brought Kanye West. We brought Lil Wayne. We brought LL Cool J. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I don't think these folks realize 90% of the promoters in this market came through my tree.
Damn.
So either they were working for me or they was working for like Nick Pettiford, who's an entrepreneur and a business guy here. And I had the club in Chapel Hill called Visions. And 6 or 7 of them young guys that went to Southern, all the guys that's doing stuff around Glenwood South right now, they came through my tree, bro. I've been doing this for a minute.
Yeah.
Hey, that's something else I want to talk to you about. The club game.
Yes.
When I got here, I think it was Solus.
Yes, I had
That was the
Solus.
spot, right? And that was
The pandemic, I had all the way up to the pandemic. Yeah. So nobody was going to Glenwood. Nobody was on that
Right.
street. We put all them folks on the street. I ran a live broadcast on that street for 3 years. So we brought the black people to that street. I came out, I was doing Friday nights. I came up on a Saturday and started to see it get packed. So I went to Noir next door and I started doing Noir. And when they saw me doing that, some guys started doing Link. And then
Right.
by then, Glenwood exploded. But it was the pandemic that stopped all that. And then we had the biggest nightclub that ever existed in this city. The biggest movement was Hive nightclub, which is, I started that right after the pandemic
is
ended.
that the
Right.
old country western spot, the old
Yes.
city
Oh,
lights?
you know, yes.
Yeah, I DJ'd in there a few times. I was looking around like, man, this is a country old
Second
place right
floor
here.
is
But I was
crazy.
doing like a go-go day party in there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was years ago. So how did that run go?
Crazy,
spot.
man. That was a retirement run for me. I mean, it was a big run for me, man. Yeah.
Word, because I didn't get a chance to go once you got in there. You know.
Yeah, and we didn't stay long because the building is gone now.
Oh, is it the whole building
they tore the
gone,
whole
including
building.
the
Good nights. Good nights,
the
bro.
comedy club, all
Yeah.
that.
So they sent us downtown on Glenwood. We did another run on Glenwood. Then I've been bouncing around. And recently, up to now, I'm doing some stuff in Durham, which I was glad to get back
Pickleback?
to Durham. Pickleback too.
Right. Pickleback too.
Shout out to Renee. And I'm doing some stuff in Ambiance, which is in the old TJ's in Raleigh.
Right.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
30
So
plus.
I still got my hand in the club market.
TJ's is a club that is like the club version of Brian Dawson.
That's funny.
Everywhere I've been, TJ's was open.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And I never went when it was TJ's.
Yeah, I went a lot when it
you
was
did.
TJ's.
Yeah, man.
I was surprised that they closed, but I'm glad to
Right.
see that somebody's still using that space because it's the last real club standing. You know, we come from an era too. Well, let's move on. Let's talk about watching the club game. You remember the club used to be 500-600 people every weekend.
Yeah, well, and it's different now. I mean, it's like, every industry, music, look at music industry now. I mean, you remember when we was coming up, man, if you got to a point that you can produce a record, like you were huge.
Right,
Then-
just having the
Then
wax.
everybody could do it in their house with the CD.
Floodgates.
Yeah, so it's like this market is now matured where you're not gonna see the big parties no more. It's a bunch of smaller parties, a lot of promoters who've learned the game, and it's just exploding. You know what I'm saying? So I got to take my hats off to it because I'm, as a person who kind of got a lot of this started, I'm proud to see where it's at. I personally been trying to walk on the party side, I've been walking in my, I'm a little bit older than probably what I'm attracting, but I try not to get too much further down in my lifestyle.
Right.
You know, I just tried to move my career up as I move up and stuff like that.
Right.
And, you know, I don't want to be the guy in the way. You know, I don't know if y'all LeBron James fans. We can get into that a little bit later.
Yeah.
But to me, you know,
Hold up. Wait a minute. No, you're not going to do that, okay?
we're talking
Down
basketball
6.
before I get out here.
Down 6, 25 seconds
That
left.
was a nice run the other night. You know, so just go ahead and we're gonna close this out right quick. You know, for the 40-year-old man, I gotta give it to him. Still playing at a very high level.
So I went to the
Yeah.
University of Akron in Ohio.
Right.
Oh yeah, so you saw some baby LeBron while you up there?
So my roommate, okay, hold on. So I played point guard. The guy that was point guard before me, his name was Ilya McGee. He moved his youngest brother up from Chicago to stay with him and to keep him out of trouble. And so it was like 8 of them used to run around all the time. We'll kick them out the way to play spades, but one of them was LeBron. So I didn't find out till after LeBron became LeBron because I didn't know obviously at the time, but if you look at LeBron's documentary, More Than a Game, they tell that story. They'll show Ilya McGee with his Akron uniform, because that's where I went to University of Akron.
Oh wow.
And they tell a story about him moving out. I remember them guys. I didn't know we was kicking $1 billion out the room at the time.
Right.
But I mean, I appreciate him, but I'm just not a big LeBron fan. So
I've heard
you
you
gonna
trash
get a whole
talk
lot.
LeBron for
I don't
I've
consider
heard
it trash talk. I just tell the truth. I think people don't want to hear it.
There's no secret, huh?
No
secret at
yeah.
all.
So what I do, man, is I'm a troll online. You know, so I get up on some of the big pages because you know the algorithm, you cannot show them you're interested in nothing.
Right.
It's not like I'm seeking it. They put it in front of me, and when I start seeing it, I have to straighten it out, and then everybody gets at me. People, like, if you go look at my comments, people be so mad because people love him, so they can't judge him. Like, it's almost like your child. You love your child. You can't judge your child. It's just the emotion is in the way.
Yeah.
He gets a different set of rules, man.
And he definitely get. I can agree with
don't
saying he
judge him
gets
the same.
a different set
Yeah.
of rules.
Now, we
but I
talking with the
can say
national
this
media.
though:
Go-
if you take his age out of it, you still
can't.
take the guy giving you 20 points.
Yeah, man.
You know, 12 assists.
this age.
You know, it don't matter what his age
Yeah.
is. You take that guy, 18,
Right.
28, 40.
Look at his face.
I don't know what you're talking about. He can get a couple of baskets, bro. I mean, if he's shooting 23 times a game,
Yeah.
so he gonna give you 20 points. Like if you would have let Vince Carter, it's a whole list of players that can get up in age and score if that's all you're asked to do. Stand on this end,
Yeah.
don't give us no effort on that end, and score the ball. I mean, it's a place for that, but should he be talked about like he the GOAT? No, it's not close. Like it's not even close.
GOAT. I think it's only one GOAT though. You know,
It's not.
there's
even
only
close.
one.
Everything
Only one
has
GOAT.
more than one GOAT, depending on what category you
It's
put.
not
I don't
close.
think there's any argument that Michael Jordan
it's
being
not- it's
the one
not
and
close.
only GOAT.
It's-
Like, I
it's
don't
not
care.
close.
I don't care how much you talk about LeBron or Kobe.
It's not close,
There's,
bro.
there's no
Right.
Jordan.
We,
is what-
we
There's
might
no
need to do a
Jordan.
separate show. I ain't want to
There's no
hijack y'all
Jordan.
show, but I'm telling y'all, it's not close. And y'all, I don't play around with it because I love the game.
Right.
And the way the game is covered is just unfair and unbiased. Look, last game he had 10 points. Now you give me another superstar of their team that could have had a 10-point, 8-turnover game and get no bad press from ESPN or nothing.
You
Like,
didn't get. Are you sure? Because
no. Stephen A.
he
Smith
get-
was the first one on there saying
Yeah.
it's an admiration. Then Perkins right behind him, and then
gave it
Nick
to
right
him.
over at Fox. You can't work with them. Do you not realize he controlled the meter? Like you don't realize
Hey,
that.
that's you got a point. If he got off for 10 points,
don't
8
feed into this,
turnovers.
man.
Listen, I'm just saying, if that's true and nobody turned a side eye to that.
Nobody.
But I just
Because he
cannot.
could be
I
41
cannot
then. He
imagine
could
the
be
world.
41.
He's
I just-
41. That's
he's
why.
41.
But I just can't imagine a world where LeBron, like, to me, everything LeBron does, he get the side out for. Like, you know.
Well, no, that's
Good or
from.
bad.
But,
Good or
but no,
bad, right.
we judging this off of mainstream media because they shape impressions.
Okay.
People like me, I'm gonna give it to them. I give it. I try to be fair to everybody.
Mainstream media don't, but the people do.
A lot of people just because you
people
know when
give
you're
them the
watching
business.
something. So right, you know when you're watching something and it's not that's an insult to me. Like if I look at him and I watch him play basketball and then I watch Michael Jordan play basketball, you're not telling me he is good as Michael Jordan. He didn't dominate the game like Michael. In no shape or form did he ever dominate the basketball game like him.
He got 15 years on Jordan.
All that's fine. I mean, how many years up we changed. Think about it. We're changing the rules for him.
We have to.
But you can't change the rules.
Longevity.
But longevity didn't make you. In that case, Kareem would have been. Longevity didn't make you to go. Nor did the scoring champion make you to go, bro.
Yeah.
Like, it's because people like him. And when you like him, you can't. I love Dr. J and Steph Curry, but I can't just push them somewhere that they're not on the list. I got to try to be fair when I judge them. And the man just don't do anything for anybody to say that, bro. I can come down the list of all those longevity awards and give you the opposite ones that the media don't talk about.
Yeah.
So he got the most misses, most turnovers, most air balls from the free throw line, most losses in the regular season, most losses in the You just want to keep going. It's not going to stop, bro.
Okay.
Remember, I used to sleep with a basketball. That's the first thing I told y'all. This is my thing, man. Don't get it twisted there.
Basketball first.
I got a question.
Okay.
Since we're going to shift gears to leave LeBron alone.
Okay, let's leave him alone. Bro.
Let's talk about radio syndication.
Okay.
How do you feel about syndication? And the reason I'm asking that is because you've done such a great job of this grassroots local building.
And syndication can't do that.
Yeah, right. You got to be local. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a huge radio fan right now. I just didn't like the direction. I think radio is. I mean, look at all the industries, newspapers. I mean, people work there. They didn't act like they didn't see it coming. TV. Nobody consumes any media the way they used to.
Right.
Literally, nobody asks me now about whether I'm on the radio or not.
Right.
Nobody comes up to me and asks me that. Like, I don't hear that. It's like I'm telling you guys, and y'all in the game, and y'all wouldn't even knew if I probably didn't tell you. Now, I haven't made an announcement because I may go back somewhere else.
Right.
But the game is just, I don't know, man. It's just not the same as when we first.
Well, I noticed it, and from a listener, because I try to pay attention to what's going on in my environment. I did kind of notice it, but until you said it just now, it wasn't in my face. But I did say, like, because I forgot what time that other show comes on, but I was like, what happened to the local personality that was during that time?
Right. And
then I thought about when you were during that time, and when I noticed it.
Well, and then syndication, I mean, I just think they saving money. You can't take a syndicated
That's
personality.
absolutely what it is. It's absolutely a money saving.
Right. So think about it. Let's go back to Russ Parr. Russ Parr used to get a bus and do a bus tour.
Right.
He could get into a market, throw a party.
Tom Joyner would show up.
Okay. There's no syndicated personality right now that can come in this city and you'll know who he is.
Right.
Who's syndicated from 6 to 10 on our station.
Right.
And that guy dope as a radio personality. I love him.
Yeah.
But he can't do no events. He can't come to this city and get no money, to me.
Yeah.
So,
There was something you said earlier that I'm gonna tie it into this conversation. You're saying, you know it when you see it with basketball. You train to be on radio.
yes.
You studied.
Yes.
And there are actual things that you learn. I'm at Jams. I learned under Brian Douglas. When I tell you Brian Douglas is one of the best teachers of how to be an on-air personality, what I see today when I listen to radio, I don't hear the training. I don't hear the fundamentals.
Right.
Like if you take it from a sports perspective, if you watch a guy, he might be able to get to the basket, but he has no left. I see.
This generation not coming up like us, man. It's the instant part of everything is hurting them to me. Like, they can instantly do something. So I'm from an era where I used to go to Kinko's and take a regular sheet of paper, cut it 4 times, and take paper flies and put 1,000 out on cars, right?
Right.
But it taught me the game in a different way. I talk to real DJs all the time, and they frustrate me because I'm like, you're mad because this DJ uses technology, he uses a sync button, but that's how he learned. Because you learned to put the needle on the record, you know how much better than you are. So take it as a positive, not a negative. What you learned is what makes you better than them, right? Don't stop fighting all this stuff that's going on. So I don't know. I just look at things a lot different. Like, these radio people the same way. They didn't sit up under, it used to be a time where
you had to do air checks. Like, you might get off the air 2 weeks, you'd go on 2 weeks, and then you got to go sit down with the program director and listen to air checks.
Right. And you might be on the
telling
radio.
you how to, stuff that you've done wrong. To me, when I'm listening, even in syndication, I can tell that they don't have that person.
And you would do overnights for years. Evenings, you might not touch the daytime. By the time you got up there, you was polished.
Yeah, you're polished. And they're gonna make sure you're polished too.
Yeah.
And if you're not,
They don't care now.
Yeah, they don't
But
care.
I want the most polished person when I came through. I figured the game out, though. I figured it out.
Yeah, but that's honestly, I can say that I can attest to listening to you, and I've heard your development though. You know what I mean? Like as a radio person, I remember when you first came on as not a 9-to-5er,
right?
And then you as a 9-to-5, I'm like, man, this guy's developed. Like look at this dude.
I think for me, it was always trying to. The biggest compliment I ever got on the radio was when somebody walked up to me and said, "You sound like yourself." And I always knew that. I learned a lot of things from different people. I learned from Lisa Ray to make people say your whole name. Like I called her Lisa, and she looked at me like I was crazy and corrected me. So I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna be Brian Dawson." You know what I'm saying? And everything I did was by plan, by design, and every step I was lucky, man. And I had some good support, in some rough times, but I was lucky. But I would say I'm one of the few that really win at the game, because what they do is they put you out the pasture, they throw you on the old station, throw you in throw you somewhere you don't really want to be, and just because it's hard for people to leave it. But I was able to just say I'm done with it. Like I had a good time with it. And if I go back, I go back, but I cannot continue to do this anymore.
Yeah. I was part of the recession cuts, I believe.
Yes.
You know what I mean? The 2007, everything started downsizing. And I never really pursued another radio gig after that. There was some available, but I didn't check for it because it was kind of something I was connected to Greensboro like that.
But think about this. So I remember the mega stars, Puffy's, the Jay-Z's, everybody you can think of, Ja Rule, come through the radio station, and they make you do these short interviews. Like you come in, you got 2 minutes. If you get to 4 or 5, they'll come flashing lights.
And then you got to edit that down to the best 30 or 45 seconds.
But check it out. And they swore nobody wanted to hear nobody talk. All they want to hear is these same hits. And to me, that's what birthed podcasts.
Right.
Where
Absolutely.
you could put out a great podcast like this. People going to go listen. Cat Williams made you listen all weekend. He had a 4-hour podcast when he dropped with Shannon Sharp. But this is everything that they said was radio. Like, it was the opposite of radio, and that's exactly how radio ate itself up.
Hey, real quick about taking the time with the interview. We did an interview when I was on the morning show with DMX.
Wow.
And it ended up being like 2.5 hours. And because, we recorded off air. And then we were like, man, the whole thing is good. So we chopped into segments and just let the whole thing run.
Right.
And it was gold. I don't know why, the writing was on the wall then. People wanted to
hear that.
DMX.
Right.
And DMX is an open book. So he crying and everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, this is great stuff right here. We got a winner. But
yeah, he'll break out and pray on you. While he talking, right. I had him on like a TV show I was doing.
Yeah, he's a great interview, man. Great interview, man. And yeah, what you see now is what we saw clues of then. It's like people want to hear the whole story, but radio wasn't ready for it.
So in 2026, is radio still breaking artists, or is that era dead?
Been dead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, but if you already moving and got some motion, radio can take you. I ain't gonna say from an artist standpoint, it's still a viable way, but it ain't of course, ain't the only way. But like if you got a little motion, radio will push you over the top.
Right,
no question about
it. It's not the foot end that it used to be, but it's the booster.
Yeah, because the record ain't gonna if you ain't making it perk in some of the other platforms, they not gonna keep it in their rotation anyways too long. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And then how you feel about regional sound? And I'm talking about music now. Do you think regional sound is?
My problem with regional and local artists, to me, all starts with production. Like, you got to have some quality production, which means you got to go do these demos and these records somewhere. Like, you can't just do something like
straight out the room and bring in sounding like right.
Yeah, because just off the top you're gonna lose. But I mean, I like the hustle. I like the grind. My problem with artists is they think everybody owe them. And they don't approach this from a different standpoint. I ain't gonna say all of them, because not everybody like that. But we don't owe you to make you rich. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to put some grind in and some understanding.
Now, for you being in radio as long as you have, some might consider you like a gatekeeper.
Right.
How you feel about that?
Explain what you mean.
During that time.
Good question. What you mean?
Gatekeeper as far as getting the music out there to people. Because I heard you say about the local artists, how they feel, and how you feel about local artists.
By default, you would be a gatekeeper.
I like that question, though. I like the question.
Yeah.
But like, it's so far from the truth, though, like, to be honest, Cap, because think about it.
That would be the perception, though.
Right.
Oh, no question.
Right.
Oh, I mean, I got major artists. I ain't even gonna get into that. But I'll let y'all figure it out. But I got major artists who don't deal with me because I was always the face of the station. So their anger at the radio station was directed towards me. Because it's like people always thought Brian Dawson wasn't playing their record. So it's just, I know we're not going back to LeBron, but it's the same thing. You're the face of the league, you're the face of all the good and bad. If there's some bad stuff going on, people not going to All-Star Weekend, and you was the first person not doing the dunk contest, that's a part of your legacy. So the same thing for me.
That was a good dad. Not doing a dunk contest, boy.
Right. but we had artists that come up that to them the radio station didn't support them.
Right.
And I was the first person getting blamed because people thought I was up there playing records that I wanted to play, but I've never been able to do that.
Well, let me. I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to let you answer it, and we'll look at the crowd and we're going to explain it to them. Are you the program director at 97, or have you ever been the program director at 97?
No, people think I own the radio station.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Now, let me explain
When
to
did you
your
sell
listeners.
When did you sell it?
Right.
I know,
Right.
man.
Let me explain to you listeners because
That's funny.
Coming, especially in the 90s, you could get mobbed coming out of the radio station with the artist. Hey, play this. Okay, listen up. Brian Dawson, as an on-air personality, especially outside of a mix show, does not have the power to just take your song in there and just play it. Program director makes those decisions. Brian Dawson is an on-air personality, a disc jockey. The songs that play are on a rotation. So, have to get that out of the way. A lot of people don't understand this. Some people are being educated to this for the first time. That's why when you call the station and you request a song, doesn't always come right on. They're banking that you're going to call and ask for something that was going to come on anyway.
That's right.
If it's a song,
I took a lot of arrows for it, though. After a while, I just got to stop explaining. I got tired of explaining it, but yeah.
Yeah, but one more time for the people, because, I think we try to educate people too. So this is our chance to explain what really goes on in radio and why Brian Dawson can't just walk your record in here and have it playing 5 times.
Getting a record on the radio is big business. So if you own the big business, are you gonna let it's like, let's say this was a clothing store or whatever, and are you gonna let your employees sell hand in hand the jeans
right up in the front window?
They get the money
and put it in the front
their
window.
pocket, right? Or you gonna set it so the money got to come to you? So do you think any of this money on the record side is gonna go to a local radio DJ? Is not gonna happen. Now I ain't saying mix show DJs ain't figuring out how to hustle a few things here and there. It's probably some things that they doing, but I was never, you got to do your research on the people. I was never a music person. Remember, I was a party guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I threw parties. Okay. I was on the radio to throw parties. I wasn't on the radio to get local artists to give me money to play their song. That was never, ever, ever a thought in my mind the whole time I was on the radio.
Right.
Yeah, but there's that perception. Yeah. So I can imagine there have been a lot of uncomfortable situations. Just people bringing stuff, at the most inopportune
show up at the
time.
radio station,
right.
They smell like 2 bags of weed. They got the CD when the CDs were hot and their name written all over it. And I'm like, bro, Def Jam just left, bro. They had a whole team up here. They bought people food. It's a business. It's a professional thing going on, and you think I'm supposed to take this CD and go. It's just a lack of education. But you don't see that in the market now. I think people starting to.
Well, I think people are just kind of discounting radio's impact, period. They don't even think about radio anymore.
And there's other platforms.
And
I think music's suffering from those too. So everything cycles around.
Okay. This is another thing I want you to educate people on. I have a lot of people come to me and say, hey, man, I need some money. I'm going to throw a party. And they think that it's easy and it's an automatic get-rich-quick scheme. How long does it really take to build a party network? Like, from your first party to the time that you make money, how long,
I'm from that era, though, when it wasn't as many people throwing parties when I first got started. So to where now everybody is a DJ, everybody throw parties, everybody's an influencer. So it's an oversaturated market at this time, I will say. It's tough, man. Like, nowadays, it's 5 and 6 people teaming up to throw one party. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like it used to be. And that's because, just like we talked about radio, we talked about newspapers, all these mediums are facing the ultimate challenge of continuing to grow. So now, you know, you have a place, a venue that holds 200 people, and you pack that out, you doing something.
Right.
Whereas we came up,
200 people is
like plumb crazy. I mean, that place holds 1,000 people. You might do 700 on a regular weekend. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it ain't like that no more. Them days of the big crowds, I think, is kind of over. But it's kind of building like a baby Houston, where there's a lot of things to do. Restaurants getting in the game. More clubs are in the game. The white club owners are losing with their white crowd, so they're opening their doors to the black crowd. You know, so we're getting more and more clubs popping in the market.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's up.
I like that for Raleigh, though.
Yes.
I like that for this area.
And Durham. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, cut off Durham. It's going on in Durham, too.
Right.
Yeah, that's taking time for me to adjust to the new nightlife, because I cut my teeth and prepare. Everything I did was preparing to be the guy in the 1,000 people room.
Yes.
And it took me time to accept that parties, a good party's got 200 people in it now. You know what I mean? And I couldn't wrap my head around it at first.
Man, it's just so much cool stuff to do, man. That's different. Like about a month ago, I signed with the Durham Bulls, so I'm their official in-game DJ, which is
nice.
so dope, man. I've never been to a Bulls game all my life, right?
Oh, wow.
Really?
I did the tree lighting for the city, and their host was there, and we had a good vibe. And he walked up to me, and his name is Jacoby. He's like, "B, man, I got to recommend you to the Bulls." I'm like, "Yeah, right. Yeah, they're not gonna have me down there." And so enough, got the email. I went down there, and it's been a great deal for me. I do the home stands.
Yeah.
And it's just a lot to do in the market, man. And a lot of opportunities are opening up. So nightlife, is taking a hit because there's just so many other cool things to do, places to go, restaurants to go and eat. They do brunches and stuff like that. So the market is definitely exploding, and it'll take a few more years for it to settle to something I think gonna be really nice.
Right. So here goes the next thing I want you to educate people about. Your presence is always fairly professional. I can't recall a time, you don't see Brian Dawson drunk. You don't see Brian
I've never
Dawson
had a drink in my
smelling
life.
like trees. You know what I mean? You
I've
don't
never
see
had a drink.
Right, and that's that. And
I just never started. Then I got too old to drink. So.
Yeah, well, that in itself is an anomaly, considering the game that you're in.
Yeah.
So me looking from the outside, I see that you always carry yourself in a professional manner. And a lot of people see what you do and think they can do it, but they think they can do it and live a different lifestyle.
Right. So it's funny you said that, man, because that was always my advantage on the radio. Like I really came to the radio station to be me. So Russ Parr used to call me the country's man on the air, and we made a drop out of it. And I was like proud of it because that means I'm me. Whatever I am, this is who I am. I didn't have to act. I didn't have to change. And no matter how, like, this is what's important. Like, as things changed and other platforms came up, none of that became important to me than the face-to-face. And then the two things that I kept, like, I think my whole radio tenure was, I'm going to get out there and get to the people and shake hands while you stand in the studio and wait for the next celebrity picture. I don't get that. That's nothing to me. I don't know why people even do that. And a lot of, like I said, what I was able to do was to get into them schools, and I infiltrated the entire market through the schools because school teachers and parents are connected. So when I want to go do something like my basketball camp, the city will give me 8, 9 gyms for free because I go to 60 schools and don't charge them a dime. Right. I do music. I do rap parties for them. I'm just bringing that positive energy. But the key is I'm being me, bro. I was able to bottle what makes me me and be me. Right. I'm gonna talk to the old lady on the transit bus. I mean, I'm gonna be me, man. At the grocery store, you're not gonna have more energy. People get excited to see me. That happens a lot, and I'm more just excited to see them. It's me. You know what I'm saying? It's not nothing I gotta turn on and turn off. It's just who I am.
Right.
That's dope.
So what's the process for getting a building for a club? Like I said, I'm just
it's not hard
I'm asking
now.
questions like, okay, City Lights was there. How do you end up in there?
Well, I think now, I'm going to answer that twofold. I think now, like, you got to, it's full circle. To me, you got to create events that you would go to. So you see a lot of, like, game nights, R&B nights, poker nights. Like, you got to create things that are you. And I think that's what people are looking for because now they can select you. Now, you're not doing stuff. If you're doing stuff for the masses, you're going to lose. You got to do something with a targeted geo audience. This is who I want to get. This is the type of people I want to get. You know what I'm saying? Downtown Durham is bubbling. It's a great place. You can see it changing, all these high rises and stuff coming up. Nightclub life is really, 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 really taking off. So it's just you got to have a concept and an idea. I mean, I got no shortage of.
Oh, but the question I'm asking is literally, how do you walk in there? Like, how do you make that happen? Like, some people want to know, like, okay, do you get a lease on the building, or do you work something out where you do nights, or what? You know, like that's.
Yeah, I would definitely suggest you start throwing the parties. You know, it's just like the best owner of McDonald's probably worked the register. You got to understand every element of what's going on. You know what I'm saying? It's funny because club owners in our era, you know who were the club owners? It was construction folks. Like somebody had a construction company. You know why? Because they would enter into a deal with somebody, and that person wouldn't have enough money, so. Instead, they would take the club. Yeah, they would take, like, they done fix the club up and the guy don't have enough money to pay them. So then they'll just basically buy them out by just taking the club. That's how a lot of the club owners in the generation right before me start getting their spots, right? But now, so you see, I've had 5 or 6 clubs in the market, I think. I'm as an owner. I've promoted hundreds of them, you know.
But as an owner, so this is your spot down. You take care of everything.
Yes.
Right, got you.
But that's washing machines, so you don't get to eat every night like when you the promoter. It's got to go back into you every 30 days, and you get paid. Promoter go in and you eat. You shut the lights off. You go home. What you got in your pocket, you up. You know. So it depends on what you got the stomach for. Not everybody, you know, can do certain things. Certain people. It's just like just because you can do hair don't mean you can own a shop.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's why you saw a lot of shops close because they were great at doing hair, but they couldn't run the business part.
Yeah, see, I'm a DJ, but I don't throw parties. You know, never have. And my dad owned clubs.
Right.
You know,
and you never really?
Yeah, my dad had 2 clubs. He had one in Raleigh. Well, no, one in Greenville, one in Tarboro, and I never threw a party for money or anything like that.
Wow.
And but. Something that's always been back there. Yeah. But I watched so many people lose as a DJ. You know, I've been there. I'm going to get my money. But I watched the guys. It's like, oh, man, I'm sitting back here and the place is empty, and that just scared me off. You know what I mean? Not wanting to lose, put my money into something.
Yeah, I've never, really had that fear too much. Like that's been, but I understand. I respect it. Like
I think it was just because I seen it, because I'm the guy.
Right.
Who that guy has to pay at the end of the night. And
well, who really took me to a new level in making money in parties is Adolph.
Right.
I know y'all know Adolph Shop.
Yeah, I know Adolph.
So me and Adolph was partners from probably 97 to the CLAA went to Charlotte. Like we did, like every major party in this city was me and him pretty much. Yeah.
Right.
And I was the host, so people didn't know I was a partner though. At the beginning, they only saw his name. They thought I was just a paid talent.
Right, right. And now this is probably the last thing I have that I wanted to bring up. You know, a lot of DJs have brought up the conversation of DJ on the flyer versus promoter on the flyer. Who people coming to see? And I can tell you that in this market, like, you see Brian Dawson's name on the flyer, I think you're probably going to bring as many people as whatever DJ you're going to put on the flyer. But a lot of DJs, this has been a conversation. It's come, how come the promoter's name got to be on the flyer? Well, when the promoter is bringing people, I get it.
Right.
Some promoters don't bring a lot of people, and you got a DJ that could possibly be the headliner here. Where you stand on the way that promoter has become the forefront? Like, today I would say that people go to parties because of who's throwing them more than who's DJing or who's performing.
Yeah, I got a foot on both sides. I see both sides. I get frustrated at both sides. It's a tough thing to kind of figure out. Like, I started doing several flyers. Mm-hmm. So if I have a party and both of y'all DJing, I'm gonna do a flyer and I'm gonna have your picture on it. I'm gonna do a second flyer and I'm gonna have your picture on it.
Right.
And then
everybody.
Yeah, everybody gonna get their personal content so they can get to their personal pages and move it out. But I'm disappointed because now DJs are so used to being on flyers that they don't feel like they're gonna move that out. They're not bringing them to the table. Like they're only relying on their name. Mm-hmm. And you can't do that. It's gotta be about the hustle. So let me give you my last week. So I did a corporate party for Black Alliance on Thursday. I'm trying to remember all this off the top. I did 2 shows for Bill Bellamy at the Improv on Saturday. Got up Saturday on Friday, Got up Saturday morning. I went to Henderson, did their community day, and we are huge in Henderson,
Right.
and places like that because they, a whole lot of folks don't go down there. I did a all-day community day. Went back to do Bill's 2 other shows for Bill, and then I had 2 parties that night.
You're the hardest working man in showbiz.
Right. Then I came back Sunday and I did Raheem Devon, did a 6-hour, 5-hour DJ set. So it's the grind, baby. Right now at my stage, like,
Hey, that's what's up, man.
yeah,
Right. It's good stuff.
you gotta put that work in, man, and it's gotta be fun. You know what I'm saying? My mother used to work 2 jobs at Kroger, man. So I can do this all day, every day.
I did my double grind, man. I did it for about 3-4 years, sleeping 3 hours a night.
Yeah.
And I think I wore myself out. I burned myself out.
I did that
time.
too.
It took a little time
Right before I got sick, I did that too.
Yeah, so now I'm just probably after all that time, I'm back where I feel like working all the time again. So I'm
gonna tell you,
everywhere
man,
I can be now.
Cap, you gotta look at that corporate market, man, that wedding market. Like, I definitely, the last thing I'm trying to do is be in a club. But real talk, man, thank y'all for having me, man. I love to be back, man. This is fantastic what y'all doing. Like I said, this is organic. It's the grassroots of the movement, man. This podcast like this is like really what it's all about, man. Appreciate y'all, man.
Hey, we appreciate you coming. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, anything you want to add?
I'm good, man.
Hey, anybody want to say hello, shout out, or anything like that?
Nah, man, just y'all, man. I mean, I just appreciate y'all, man. This is the first podcast. I'm working on a couple of things, man, but when you hit me glass, I was like, I don't know why I didn't tie Cap J into it at first. And then I did my homework and I was like, oh, this is the one Cap J was talking about. So it's just an honor to spend some time with y'all, man. And y'all got to have me back. I got y'all on tape and audio recording that y'all gonna have me back. So it's all
yes,
good.
indeed. Yes, indeed.
Absolutely.
Yes, indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been the Capital City Podcast. I'm your host, Capital J, alongside, as always, my main man.
DL Glass.
And the one and only legendary
Brian Dawson, I love it.
Yes, sir.
Legendary because you old. Thank you, man.
legendary because you did the work.
That's
and
right.
you deserve it.
I'll take it.
Let's go.
God's the greatest.
Take us out.
Remix one more time.